Thank you.
Did a film. You
Yeah.
made a film.
First one.
Thanks to Quentin.
More thanks to you, Edwin.
Oh, actually, yes. I provided most of the camera equipment for the film.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So,
My family owns like a photography company, so
oh,
they just had some like cameras and stuff just laying around.
hey, whatever you can use and whatever you can get. So that's awesome. So,
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
especially right now. So,
definitely.
cool, cool, cool. How are you all doing? Surviving quarantine, semi-quarantine,
Doing
the
all right.
COVIDness?
Yeah. I got coronavirus at one point, but
Ooh,
that was a while ago. How do you go? I tested positive, but they said that after some time you're like free to go out, something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. So that
I
wasn't
can,
that bad though, to be honest.
so.
Yeah, he had the tougher time out of us three. Yeah.
What?
He had the tougher time out of us three.
Oh, yeah. So. Did you have you done the antibody test yet to see if you have the antibodies?
I don't think so. I think I just wanted to see if I was positive or not. I did not hear of this.
Because if you have the antibodies, they are really like if you look up like people like Tom Hanks who had it, and then he developed the antibodies. You can help out people by donating platelets, which is actually really easy to do. So
Oh, I
yeah,
did not
and
know
it
this.
can really really help people. That's like the number one thing people can do. So
Oh,
so that's a positive that can come out that you can go and help some of the people, especially right now. So
that's actually good to know.
yeah, so
Yeah.
just something. So so cool.
hmm
So what was it like making your film? What was it like working together? It's always hard to work with friends. So
Oh, for sure. Yes.
There was a lot of conflict between us, kind of early, serious.
A lot of bickering.
Yeah. Um, since me and us three, we kind of wrote the whole thing together.
okay,
Um, it caused problems later down the line when we were filming.
right.
Just to like each of us saying like trying to come up with new ways or like better shots. It, all in all, it went smoothly from here and there.
For how complicated it all went, because of how rushed it was, it turned out not horrible. So
A lot of the times, like you want to see it in the film, but we had a lot of like fun just like making it. We have so many like videos of us just being like in bloopers or something. It was just like hilarious some scenes.
I
Uh,
mean,
it was a pretty fun experience just doing all that.
they say that for every hour of filming, maybe you get 20 seconds. Yeah. So
Sounds about
yeah,
right.
roughly, yeah.
yeah, maybe. So which
Yeah,
is
it's like as complicated as it was and as rushed as it was, we all had fun with it.
Yeah, we did.
so. Have you started to think about then how you can take this and make it into a next project? Not necessarily this film, but how you all work together onto a next project.
Possibly. It just comes down to the toughest thing about this one was what we wanted to do with it is that we had to have a time to where um, it would just be us there,
Mm-hmm.
like the parking garage. Like after we
Right.
had the bit afterwards, there was many people there, so it's just trying to come up with a place to do it to where it could be in one setting, and that's kind of what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's uh, obviously, as you're doing the guerrilla filmmaking, where you're not getting which you should always do, but you're not because you're just, young people just trying to do their film. usually that's why they get the permits and things like that. But
Yeah.
but you're not doing that right now. You're just trying to make a film. And so unless you know somebody at a place and they can, just give you the authorization, it's really hard. Like, oh geez, a number of years ago, a student was trying to make had an idea, but needed a hospital room and like needed a hospital room. So they like scoured every single one of their like friends who knew somebody, who knew somebody, who knew somebody, and they were able to get one room for 30 minutes. And they had to do like everything in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Insane.
yeah, obviously that's not happening now, but
Yeah.
but that was years ago, and that's what you do, especially when you're trying to just put something together. That's why a lot of shorts like this one are often done they either have early morning shots or nighttime shots, because that's when, hey, nobody's around, let me go in, let me see what I can do. So
Yeah, that was a lot of what we had to do. So
yeah, but sometimes, and I say this, that this actually I think benefited your film, but sometimes because you had to do those things, that it actually added to the tension of the film.
okay.
So, and I think that really happened. Now, Quentin, you and I and the group discussed, just that first moment
Yeah.
of jump, which, I still think is awesome and left. And I said, I want to know the whole story. And I think that you really get the whole story. The one thing that I was happy about was at the end, things weren't perfect. Like there wasn't like the cliche ending,
Yeah.
but it was left with hope that, even though the tension in the house is still there and the fear of the self-harm is going to happen, but you backed off from the ledge, and then when you needed support, your friends were there for that. And I mean, that ultimately is a very positive message. It's not a perfect, like, oh, we tied it up in this nice little bow and everybody's going to be happy. But that's because that's not real. But you left it with, hey, we can have some positivity and some hope. And so, and that was good. One thing that I would suggest is, just like as a first comment or something, or an addition at the back end, is because you're being hopeful, you can inspire somebody else who's facing something like that, and just give them, like list of resources or a number to call if you're feeling this way. Because not everybody has good friends like like was shown in the film. And, what does that person then need? How can that person also be inspired? So, in terms of the filming, I love the intersection between color and some of the, black and white grayish
Yeah.
tones. I really, really like that. And some of that is very, just let us know that we are in memory, and just follow my suggestion is make sure that there's some consistency with that. So are we in memory? Are we in moment? Are we in memory? Are we in moment? So, because you start off in moment and then we flash back.
Yep.
So are we meant to just have it as a flashback, or are we meant to be in memory? It's a question, and that's for you to discover as filmmakers.
Okay.
So, and that's just, just part of storytelling. I try to keep honing my craft and my understanding, and just finding new people to listen to. And yesterday I was listening to some unheard recordings of interviews with Alfred Hitchcock and, Howard Hawks, who you may not, you probably recognize the name. Hitchcock, but Hawks is known for both his screwball comedies and his westerns. So, and Hawks was talking about, how because when people talk about his comedies tend to be like super well lit, because they're supposed to be bright because they're happy, they're comedies, yay. Hawks didn't do that. So Hawks kept things like the backgrounds always were dark, but he lit their faces, which is not typical in comedies. And so that, and his argument is everything's a drama. You just wind up laughing at it. Because he did the classic film that everybody talks about, that if you go to college and have a film class, one of the ones they make you watch is usually Bringing Up Baby, this classic comedy from the, I want to say 30s, maybe early 40s. I don't remember the exact year, but Hawks, when he did that, it's almost all of it's at night, and Baby is this leopard, okay, that's chasing them through, the woods because he's escaped. But it's a screwball comedy, and so it's funny, and there's all these like things. But his argument was, you're being chased by this leopard. That's pretty dramatic, and you never know what's going to happen, even though we're going to laugh at you. And then Hitchcock was talking about, pretty much similar to what you guys were dealing with. How do you edit to tell the story? Because when you look at it, we see things in 3D, but when you're filming, you're only dealing with 2D. So what are you showing in that 2D? And that was something I thought you guys just instinctively did well. Like you had elements that were in your shot that really helped to tell the story and get an emotional response from the audience. Like I mentioned in the email, that scene on the bridge where it flashes up, which is really well done. The light of, I guess, St. Charles, because you said it, because I wasn't St. Charles, right?
Yeah, St. Charles.
Okay. The lights looking over St. Charles, leaving you with that moment. The tension of, is the elevator going to move fast enough, to get there in time, to build that.
Yeah.
I will say, trust your audience a little bit. I think that we could have, in that case, we get it by the others getting on and hitting the buttons without commentary. You don't always need dialogue. Okay. Yeah. Remember, you're dealing with the visual medium. Okay. Your audience gets it when you show us something. And that's one of the things that I sometimes wrestle with in my own writing, and everybody does. Like, remember to show more than tell.
Okay.
Always show more than tell. And that's something I struggle with, because as you can tell right now, I talk a lot. And so I sometimes weave that in. So that's just off the top of my head. Those are the things that I keep thinking about when I think about your film. So I watched it twice. Okay. Well, I guess the first part I've watched like 4 or 5 times, because, I watched it, we discussed it. I watched all those twice and then dissected it with you. And then I watched this one twice. So a few reviews. Questions. What questions do you guys have? How do you still feel about it?
I feel it turned out well, could have focused a little more on continuity and kind of squeezing it into one season, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
We did get some advice from our editor. We should try to do the most of the filming in one day. So
Mhm.
it's
So a lot
not
of the continuity is there.
like early morning to midday to whenever.
There's what's called so in terms of storytelling, this is me being the teacher. Okay, there's what's called Aristotle and the three unities: unity of time, place, and action. Okay, and the unity of time says that you try to keep everything in one day. That's really hard for filmmakers, obviously, because you got all these different things. But especially when you're young, to keep that continuity, you try to do it as much as you can in that one day. As somebody who has acted in a couple, shorts for people, like when they've needed the old guy for something, it's like, okay, what time am I there? What time am I staying till? So, and when do you time it out? And it's obviously, as you've discovered, based on location. You can't film fully in order. You got to do it in location. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. So let me do all the shots for this moment, even if it's one is the first scene in the film and one is the last scene in the film. So
Yeah, I think John's whole part there, after it gets out of the flashback, we filmed that 3-4 weeks ago. That was all brand new, and then we had to use a different camera too. So,
okay,
but yeah, we did that, and that was just all of that from that moment to where he enters up into the his character enters up into the parking garage. That was um, that was not at all in the script. That was just adding more to it. So then
ah,
it's because I wanted to have about 20 minutes. I didn't want to have it really short.
mm-hmm.
And then we also had to cut a scene too. So it was just trying to find a way to yeah, get that up there. So
Did you have some great footage that you wanted to use and then couldn't use?
yeah, there was times like that too.
Yeah.
There was a back shot in the van that I wanted to use, but you couldn't hear them talk, so I had to use it from the top. So there was a lot of stuff like that.
Speaking of like shots with the car or van, I really liked. I know this is going to sound really, and I don't think you intended it. I think it's just what happened. When you're driving home and you got stopped at the light,
Yeah, yeah,
which, and you just hear the blinker click, 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 click for a few seconds without any talking or anything like that. That, because, what does a turn represent? Which way are you going? And you just hear the click, click, click. And for me, I felt this symbolic moment was established about which way is he really going to turn. Is he on the right path or not on the right path? So I don't know if you intended that, but it just
I've never
felt
I never
that way.
thought about that for like it happens. I think that was the only time, that was the only take we ever filmed of that part.
Okay.
And I liked the ticking with it. I felt it gave it something. So, but to have it to where you can get something from it, that's cool.
The clicker almost sounds like when it's clicking, it just sounds like undecisiveness. Like, oh, I know he's turning this way, but like, what's gonna happen after that? It keeps going, and it makes you think a little bit while it's clicking. So that was a good. That was a That's one of the things I noticed when I watched it. I rewatched it again.
Cool. Do you guys have questions?
Do we have questions? I mean,
It's funny because I even asked people, it was like, oh, anybody have questions with it or whatnot? It was like, oh, let me know by Wednesday. I got nothing. Nobody asked anything.
Yeah.
So, which I don't mind it, but I think the coolest part about it is that, as far as I could tell, a lot of people have been enjoying it. That's entertained with it. So
It's a good story, and like I said, it ends with this that reality check that we don't have a perfect life, but we still have some hope. And I think that is what really stands out for me. So.
yeah, and I don't know if any of them can remember, but that's what I wanted to do with it. There was a lot more to it, but I felt that with a short enough thing, there's too many jumps with it, so we just went with that. But there was too many jumps with it, so we ended up just using the one flashback, then the week later.
Edwin, what's your puppy's name?
his name is Rocky. He's in the back right there.
Yeah, I know. He keeps popping up his head a little bit to watch us. It's
Yeah.
really
It's kind of cute. Rocky?
Yeah.
He's kind of there.
Yeah.
His name is Rocky.
That's something I do kind of wish we kind of incorporated into the film. It's like a kind of like a pet or like something that could give someone comfort. I feel that would have been a cool aspect to have in the film, but I didn't think of it at the time.
None of us did.
It's really hard to work with animals.
Yeah,
Really hard.
yeah.
Just letting you know. So they say like never work with animals and children.
Have you worked with animals in film?
I've worked with animals on stage,
Oh,
not in a
interesting.
film.
Oh,
No,
right.
the one that you didn't see.
The one that I didn't see?
The one that I was in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had animals, but I've worked with a couple of times had to use animals in a show, and it's always like, okay, what's the easiest way to get through this moment right now?
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha.
But I know I kind of talked about it a little bit, but not too much. I know that this one helped with. It really made me explore more of the directing part of it, and I I felt I had a lot more fun with that. One, mostly because it was really rushed, so. But yeah, it was more fun to do that because as we were shooting, we were just trying to remember the lines as well. I think that's noticeable.
Yeah.
Well, it's life, you know. How do you do that? So.
Yeah, exactly. But I had fun with that, so and I have many other stuff that I wanted to do. And then I'm kind of thinking about what's next with it.
Mm-hmm.
Or for what I want to do next, and I know what I want to do next is completely different from what this one was.
Oh, cool. Cool. That's the one thing about summer, or at least, you know, for some people in the COVID, you know, time, is like, what can we think of to be creative? You know, yes, we can't go and do everything that we want to do, nor should we right now. But as artists, this is going to be a really hard time and a really long lasting time until things get back to normal
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. And right now there isn't. I mean, there are so many like little things. I haven't looked at it yet, but Netflix dropped something this week where just all these people, some big celebrities even, or big name directors, just made these quick short films at home just to feel creative, and Netflix curated them. And I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm really interested to see what kind of comes out of this from people. And so right now, while you have this idea stewing, this is your chance to kind of plot it out, figure it out, do what you can to move forward with it. So, because everything's going to have to be either solo or just a couple people and distance, which is sometimes pretty hard.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's pretty cool.
I really liked it though. I'm not gonna lie on that. So I did. I thought this is one of those things that sometimes you see things and you go, hey, that's okay. And sometimes you see things and you go, huh. And for this one, I went, hey, this one shows so much potential. And that's what I like. I mean, this one has that. You definitely see clear elements of storytelling, which is one of the hardest things to get. And when the fact that you're getting that full story in this short, plus you created these levels of images that help the audience feel something, that's really good. So, because it's the communication of that idea and the effect that it has on the audience. So, this one hit the feels, as they say. So, that was good. All right. Cool. Any other exciting plans for the summer?
I might have some idea for like a film myself. Might be like a short one though. Might be. I'm just bringing this up now. They haven't heard of this, but it's gonna be like a pretty short one, I think. The while we were filming, it kind of inspired me to make my own. Maybe make my own. Uh, this is just coming out now.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as him. I have like a early thing in the making. It's not really so much a short film, more of like a revengey type ish film that has to do with a lot of family drama, you could say.
Gotcha. Cool. This is the time. You get to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, we're stuck on my hill, right?
Yeah, right.
No, the one that I'm kind of thinking of, what I want to do is, I want to focus more on the behind the camera part, and I want to get, no offense to these guys, because no offense, we all did what we could do the best, and I've been told the acting wasn't that bad either, but it's just I'd like to work with a couple other people, and kind of what I want to focus on, because or not focus on, but kind of some inspiration that I want to do is some of the older Bond movies.
Mm.
So that's kind of my inspiration right now.
Which ones?
Mostly the Connery.
Okay. All right. I've seen them all, so.
Yeah, no. I'm in the process of watching them all.
Yeah.
So.
It was a huge debate, and I look back and I go, I was wrong. I'll just tell you a quick story. So my dad always loved Bond movies,
Okay.
but when I was a kid, my Bond was Roger Moore because he was Bond at that time. Okay, so when I think of Bond. That's my first image, in my mind. And my dad just kept saying, no, 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 blah, blah, blah. And I was an annoying kid. I don't agree with my father, so I would, argue with him. And then, obviously there were multiple Bonds, after Roger Moore. And then I was like, and then I will agree, Connery beat Moore by far. So I think right now it's a toss up though, as to best Bond is between Connery and Daniel Craig.
Yes.
The only
yes.
reason why I say that is because I think Daniel Craig had much better scripts, because the people, I don't know if you realize who've written a bunch of the scripts, but they come from actually a theater background of Daniel Craig's, and they're really, really good writers. So I'll give it that.
I watched all of the Daniel Craig ones before I went back to the other ones. Because we got a collection of it from a friend, so we've been just watching that. Like, we watch one of the movies every day. Like 2 days ago, we just finished the Connery stuff, and I'm a little sad now, but I know there's good stuff coming. So
yeah, I mean, a Bond film is a Bond film. It's actually
entertaining either way. I know.
Yeah,
so
it's like
I'm either way. So
it is what it is, and you gotta just like it, and so it's really fun. So cool.
But that's kind of the inspiration I have for it now. It's just getting the stuff for it. So
yeah, it's hard. It's hard. So just if you're doing something spy and action like that, just be careful about doing it guerrilla style.
Well, it's not like fully like.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. So.
No, I get you.
Just.
It's
people freak out too easily, and don't get. We're just trying to be.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix between Reservoir Dogs and Bond, at least in my head for right now.
Okay.
That's where the one setting kind of takes place at.
Gotcha. Cool. I'm interested to see what all three of you come up with that. So.
I'm interested too, especially with Edwin.
Yeah.
All right then. I'm gonna head out to take care of some other stuff then. So if you guys don't have any more questions, but I want to say again, congrats on a great film. So good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. So
yeah, please stay safe. Stay safe.
Well.
Okay. It's scary times on that end. So cool.
For sure.
All right.
Goodbye.
I'll see you.
See ya.